So, welcome to, apparently, Avatar: The Last Airbender chat, because that is what everybody is talking about right now.
Are they really?
In the comments, yeah. I know that I have talked about this before. This probably came up because of the Earthbender tweet, which I have accepted. But even though I really don't like getting dirty, I mean...
Is that your only problem
off
with it?
of you?
Could you?
Yes.
See, I was always thinking that's why I'd want to be a waterbender, because it would be so easy to just cleanse yourself. But yeah, I guess you're right. If you can control earth, then that means you can control dust. And just,
Right.
you wouldn't have to shower, right? You could just remove the particulates from your body.
Sure.
Does salt... Can earthbenders move salt? Can they bend salt?
You would think so. I mean, it's part of Earth, right?
So then you don't even have to worry about the sweat, right?
Well, I mean, there would still be liquid there, I guess. You just remove all the salt from the liquid.
Yeah, but then it just evaporates and it's fine because it's just water, right? Is there anything else in
Sure.
sweat that isn't dirt?
Sure.
Is there anything... Oh, here we go. This is the big question. Is there anything in sweat that, other than water, that an earthbender could not manipulate? Because if not... Starting to like this earthbender idea.
In other words, Aaron was right. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, Aaron was right. Bacteria.
Oh, hey, Lindsay!
Hey!
That's very exciting. Okay.
Okay. Oh, yes, he did. Absolutely, Aang did that crystal armor one time. All right, so, yes. By the way, I did a post on Tumblr about what I would have done if I had gotten to create languages for the Avatar: The Last Airbender series, so you can go find that. But,
we need to make that happen. Can that be like a fan thing series we do after we're done with all the animal languages that we're going to do?
I wouldn't want to give it to them for free.
Okay, fair enough. I'll make up my own world for avatars.
Oh, man. By the way, just a quick question for everybody listening. Can everybody hear Jessie okay? Is she at a good volume, or should I try to turn her up?
We may have had a snafu yesterday with the test run.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun.
Wherein for 5 minutes, I was completely not making noise at all.
Good.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, good. So then, to catch everybody up, one thing that happened between last week and this week is we ticked over to 30 patrons.
Yay!
Overshot it, actually, so we're actually on our way to 40. But because we got to 30
thank
patrons...
you, everyone.
Yeah. Hooray! Sorry. What am I doing?
Celebrating. You're celebrating.
Yeah. Woo! All right, so because of that, the new goal that we tripped over is that we're going to release our outtakes videos. There are 12 at this point, or 13. I don't remember.
I believe 13. I can't remember if we had to delete one of them.
We certainly had to delete like 3 of them. It was just...
We may have accidentally shown all sorts of information on the screen.
I mean, we always joke about social security numbers, but why do we keep sharing them for real? That's just so weird.
Great question.
It's just, no, not smart. Anyway, but we're going to release all those videos basically as soon as I can do it after we're done here. So you can look forward to those. They range from like a couple minutes long to like 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll learn all about Jesse's squirrel.
There's an entire video called Jesse's Squirrel. Yeah, so because Mateus had asked from live, and they were essentially practice runs when we were trying to do different technology, or even before we started the live stream for real, we did several practice calls to make sure that, we could do it, technologically speaking.
Yeah, we're still trying. Like, half of these videos are just me trying different ways for me to work on the font while Jesse is both present and able to work on stuff and we're able to see it.
And visible.
Yeah, it's been difficult. I know that we even did a live one, didn't we? We did a live one where we were trying it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
we actually did a couple of those, and people really helped us because for a while, apparently, my volume was completely gone.
Yeah. So
that's good.
Anyway, so that's that thing. So you can look forward to that afterwards. Okay. Otherwise,
I have.
Do you ever?
No, you never truly have a squirrel.
Was that Community? Can you ever really truly own a horse?
No.
Okay.
To connect to last time.
Yep.
Were you gonna say something? Because I was gonna just barrel ahead.
Yeah, no, go for it, because that's where I was headed.
Wonderful. So we ended last time. You had asked, is there a word for hand that is the 4 fingers but excludes the thumb?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Okay, see, I remembered. I made a note. That's the wonderful thing about notes.
Yes.
No, I cannot find one in English. However, I did find a great example from Kewa, a language spoken, it's a Papuan language.
Okay.
And they have a word, ki, which means hand, but it omits the thumb because it's also their word for 4. So ki is this part, and then a thumb is a completely separate word. So if they want to say 10, they say 2 4s and 2 thumbs. Like that's how they say the number 10.
Do they have a separate word for the hand with the thumb as well?
No. As far as that article said, no. I don't know because I don't know the Kewa language. I am not a native speaker. So
that's pretty awesome, though, that you were able to find that. I think, I'm going to hazard a guess, for our rabbits, I think that the basic word should be the whole thing because that's what it started out as. And then the 4th digit migrated down to become the thumb. So if there's a derived one, it should be this one, the one with 3, right?
Right.
But we could have both. But honestly, I mean that was all the confirmation I needed. I mean, I didn't really need it, but I wanted it. Roman, are you? Roman's jumping up to the exact same spot that Kitty was just in, probably because Kitty was in it. Roman.
That's all right. He'll get down in a minute when she's done using the restroom.
Oh! Is that what's happening? Oh boy, that could be problems. Okay.
We see the cat in the background.
Yeah. Okay. So then, okay, good, right? Let's make a note of that.
Oh yeah, we actually have a brainstorming section.
I thought this was
the things I forget that we do.
The things that I forget that we do for love.
Sorry, that was a big laugh. Good thing social distancing doesn't account for computers.
Oh man. All right, so super good. Okay. Next thing. Yeah. You do the next thing.
What was the next thing?
The poll.
The poll. Oh my goodness gracious! Thank you. So the next thing, our wonderful patrons voted, and very, very much in favor for satellite framed.
Yeah.
To the tune of 64% of votes went to satellite framed, so 32 out of 50 votes.
Yeah, that one wasn't close. It was a clear majority in all 3 polls, so that was a pretty decisive one. I did want to mention, since one of our patrons sent me a message, the Spanish data in the post where I was explaining satellite frame versus verb frame was cooked a little bit because I wanted to make it very clear what the distinction was. It's kind of like how in English, if you really want to make this distinction crystal clear, you ignore the fact that English has words like enter and exit, which basically take the, the displacement and put it directly in the verb. Instead, you focus on the fact that it has words like, trudge and fall and trip, and you can use those with into and things like that. In Spanish, it really makes more sense if you say el pájaro entró al garaje. And al is a combination of the preposition a and the definite article el. And so it's really the bird entered to the garage, which is not very verb framey, but mostly it does the thing. And that was just what I wanted to make clear. So
I like the mostly it does the thing.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Okay, so that was good because that allows us to really move forward.
Yeah.
And then I forget what I was doing up here.
We were doing some brainstorming with a satellite frame language. I would think locative B list is better to be a bit more, have more options since our verbs won't carry as much of that load.
Yeah.
I think the locative A list was more for if we had a verb frame language.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay. So let's get to that part. So now we're going to have the discussion about prepositions, which is again falling on verb versus noun in terms of how we're going to do this. So let's start. How do we start this?
We had already, because we already have done a grammatical marker coming from a noun, would it be more likely to continue?
I think it's going to be both. Is the thing.
Okay.
Maybe.
What you thinking?
No, I'm forgetting our kind of intransitivity slash unaccusativity, because the usual way that you think about these serial verb constructions working, it's something like I walk, go, this, right? But that doesn't make sense if the sole argument of go is the goer, and you really don't have that transitive idea or the affecting some other argument idea of it. So maybe we should lean more towards nouns than verbs for this language. I think you're right.
I think the way that we have it set up so far, that feels most natural. And we will definitely in other languages, I know, do very verby things. And so we won't forget about that.
Yeah. So let's, I think we should start off with the basics. And so that would be toward, let's do the motion ones. Toward, and then into, and then onto, and then out of, and perhaps away from. Now, we're not necessarily going to have different prepositions for all of these, but I wanted to get them down. These are the basic ones, the basic lot ones. And then
I'm so glad you said that word for all of us.
The
lot of ones.
Yeah. Toward is different, though. I mean, it's definitely basic, but it's different from into and onto and out of and away from.
It very much is, mainly because the other ones you definitely get either a starting or a final location. Toward is that murky one.
Yeah, but it's super basic. Everybody's got it. All the popular languages have it.
And all those unpopular ones are just doomed to the band table forever.
They're a small minority of aggressive language. It's like, into or not into. There is no toward.
Nothing else.
Okay. So let's leave that one for later. Let's start with these two right here. These are two that sometimes get conflated. And it's a question of if we want to do that. While I'm here, let's go ahead and have the corresponding essive at inside on top of.
Super Heisan says that in Norwegian they don't have toward and they instead use against.
Well, what is Norwegian's reflex of what gave us to and what gave German zu?
I don't know. Have to see if that pops up. Okay, so other people have said lative when they see that word, and I am so glad I'm not alone because I just say it like I see it, and it sure looks like lative.
Show me a dictionary.com reference.
For lative or for lative or for toward?
I suppose you also say elative and ablative.
No, I say ablative and allative. Are those wrong?
No, those are correct. Okay.
Lative was not in my dictionary, so I have to go look at another one to see if I can find multiple. Oh, Merriam-Webster says lative.
What's its definition?
Being or relating to a grammatical case that denotes motion as far as or up to.
Oh, how about that?
Yes.
Ain't saying it.
But for once, on the pronunciation wars. Okay, sorry. Moving back to...
So, yeah. So something like... Right? I mean, in theory, you could have compound prepositions for these things at quite an early stage, or they could be basic and you only use compounds for later stuff. So, like, inside, I like the idea of, since we have our rabbits, using whole here for inside. And then you could just have a combination of two to get into, just like we do for English. But, or we could simply use it for both and have it be ambiguous. Our word for whole is very small. Are we using it for something else? I forget. There was a reason we created it. Small.
There is a reason we created it, and I'm going to find... It was wa. We only have it in two places. We did it for a reason. Why did we create wa?
Yeah, we needed it for like something grammatically.
What were we doing last time? How can we not remember what we were doing? Apparently I need to go back and watch. Oh, demonstratives. Yes, thank you, Nakai.
Yeah, where are they? They're up in the demonstrative area, aren't they?
I would hope so. Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Adverbial. So the whole of, right? Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, okay, that's good. Okay.
Oh, and thank you, Dark Horse. I see that adverbial note. Thank goodness we have you all to keep us on track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And by the way, if you want names for some of these, right? So Allative, illative. What is this one called? Onto?
Oh, goodness.
Sometimes call it enlative. But I can't remember.
I always have to look them up anytime I need fancy names, and I usually prefer to just draw a visual chart instead of trying to remember all the fancy names.
Superlative sometimes works. The idea is coming up with names for these when you want them to be unique. Many languages, of course, conflate like the allative in this or the illative in this. But out of would be elative, away from would be oblative, and then all these would be the same with essive. So adessive or locative, which is sometimes called inessive, and then enissive, superessive, or whatever. And then these are both obessive. Both of them get kind of lumped together as obessive. And the obessive, when it exists, often ends up getting used as a word meaning without. And then it has limited local functions. Anyway. Is possession only marked by juxtaposition? No. Possession is marked two ways. One is with juxtaposition. The other is with a preposition. We just hadn't made it yet, right?
Right.
That's what I'm remembering.
We had talked briefly. I gotta find our. Oh my goodness! Why do we not have these examples marked more clearly?
Here we go.
But yeah, the possession we had. We've got prep just hanging out there in the middle because it's empty.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're going to use for it yet.
We're going to do something though. Believe you me.
It's going to be exciting.
It's coming. Everybody's going to be talking about it. Okay.
Okay, so I think we can safely answer, will there be a lative essive distinction? Yes, right? Is that where we're moving toward, or are we still trying to decide if we should conflate across the rows?
Well, we're deciding if we want to conflate at least these. These are probably going to be different. They don't need to be, but they might be. That's essentially the problem with French. They conflate those guys. It's so confusing. And then French has a very small number of prepositions that it uses a lot, and it's just a headache. Man.
I'm sure they think certain things about English are a headache.
Yeah. So this is actually something that concerns me. So our archilocus to be true, just thinking that if these prepositions will be nouny, there may be some genitive constructions involved. That is, of course, how these constructions arise. That's how these things become prepositions. However, that does make me think twice about using whole as a preposition for inside, because that's something that's not going to be inalienably possessed. And the possession that occurs via juxtaposition is something that happens. That's inalienable possession. There is a chicken and egg thing there, which is that, you can't create prepositions first, right? And then not have a preposition for possession.
But then you can't.
Yeah. I didn't phrase the chicken and egg thing right, but hopefully everybody gets it, So it could be that there was just a stage where there was not an inalienable distinction for possession. It seems likely. And that everything was just done with juxtaposition, and instead the alienable possession arose later via prepositional phrase. That seems likely. So I guess, you could do whole.
There have been several comments asking about whether tense could mark the lative essive distinction.
No.
Which, especially with it being nouny, that wouldn't really make sense to have any sort of tense marking with that.
Yeah, especially since we don't actually have tense in this language. wouldn't work.
Right. And then there was the suggestion that perhaps body parts could be used, and
Yeah.
Mike had said maybe heart for inside.
Heart could be used, stomach could be used. I liked the idea of doing whole because I liked the idea of going into the hole, but it was the alien ability thing that gave me pause on this. Yeah, it's true.
Right.
If whole equals home, it could be an alien who could be possessed even now. That's right. Yeah, that's true.
Because I know, so our agentive marker comes from the word for mouth, because we felt that was very agentive.
Yep.
Weren't we thinking of doing something with the nose?
We already did. Remember, that's our... In fact, I noticed this. I'm going to do it right now because I forgot. That's our old friend, the reflexive, right?
That's right, yes, because that was our...
Oh, wait. But
basically a word for self.
Right, but it doesn't show up there. It shows up in the agreement, right? There's no reflexive pronoun. Never mind. Sorry. Deleting it. My apologies.
Okay, so
back to
then
this.
Mike has a suggestion. Maybe a later construction could give us into from a compound with whole. So like inside, I guess, would come first, and then compound it.
Yeah, so like inside and into wouldn't be etymologically related at all.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. All right, let's do. So inside, I don't know what heart or stomach.
I actually like stomach better.
Okay.
Even though technically I like hearts better because, yay. Even though they don't really look like that. From what I understand, it's more like a fist. Not as awesome.
Heart.
But I feel like the stomach, the belly is very... because that usually covers that full area. And that's something that even at a very early stage, if you're not very anatomically knowledgeable, you still are aware that it's soft, there's things inside it. I feel like that makes sense.
Do you think then this would maybe not necessarily cause, but at least co-occur with the conception of a rabbit hole as a large beastie?
As a large beastie?
Yeah, beastie. So you go into the hole and you live in its little stomach and then you pop out.
So you're living in the intestines essentially.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, let's take this a step further. They're very protective of their forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Mother Earth, as we call her in English, would literally potentially be a large beastie, as you put it, and they get to live inside
the womb.
Oh,
ooh,
that's an interesting. There we go. And then they have to protect her, right?
Yeah, kind of like this. So I'm not sure if womb has ever been used in that fashion, but I'm willing to do it for these rabbits. I mean, it's not...
Actually, maybe I'm going to see if I can look this up. Nakai says that perhaps there is an African language that uses the word womb for in. Oh, and I think Evan likes this. I think that says bada bada bada.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da. I'm loving it.
That would probably be a better way of reading that.
Yeah. Womb and stomach are the same in Latin. Really? What's the word?
I guess I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Woombus?
Have you seen one of those old Saturday Night Live commercials where they have a Woomba?
Oh no.
Utero?
What? Really?
The word for womb is utero.
Wait, so the word for stomach was utero? You know,
I don't know.
utero. And
I don't know.
is that either? Is it the word for either? It's like, is that the womb or the stomach? Utero. Sorry, I was thinking about how neuter comes from not either.
Um,
Oh my god. Oh.
oh, wow. Okay. Wait, life womb and death womb. Chris, what was that in reference to?
And I see wentry.
That sounds very, very interesting, though. Okay, so I am not finding, but still, even without having that connection, I like the connection for us.
Yeah. Okay. Okay,
So this is good.
wantry is stomach. Wait, no, wentry. He corrected himself. Wentry. Venter is a normal word for stomach and womb. Uterus is a Latin technical term. Whoa, venter could be stomach or womb. Oh, wow. Oh. Look at this.
I feel like, are you having a revelation? You need to let us join in. You got to talk out loud a little bit more.
Okay. No,
There's just a lot of O's.
I'm not going to say that.
I'm like, I don't know how to participate.
Okay, so, Woombas. I'm sorry. Okay. Alright. There. It's done. It's now an international womb. Not just an American womb. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay.
wombats anyway.
Where does that come from?
It came out of their woombas. This is terrible.
Ooh,
All right.
it's just a borrowing from.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
So we need
Going on.
We need a word for the womb. It can be a nice basic word. And so I think we should probably just dip into the names that need to be made into stuff. See if if we have any generics.
I should have already had that open. So now you get to do some improv while I get that open. Come on now, David. Improv.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading. Everybody's talking about wombs right now. I would prefer. I mean, yeah, I guess it could be that. Yeah, because Inu would end up being Inu or Inu. I forget, or Onu. What would it be? Oh, that was what I forgot to do. Oh my gosh. Oh no. I forgot to.
You're supposed to check something.
Hold on. Oh, you know what? This is what I'm going to do while we read. Hopefully nobody can see anything untoward here. But I think I have to read this poem.
Oh, that, yes.
Mike wrote this poem called A Tree with Red Mittens.
Are you sure you don't want to read the haiku first? So that way...
Wait.
You know.
Where is your haiku?
Did you read the haiku?
No, where is it?
Oh, it's in another post. Because I didn't want it to be compared to Mike's amazingness.
Okay. Oh, I just clicked into it. Okay. You know what? This is a mess. Exactly. Hold on a sec.
You can just read it.
I know how I'm going to do this. No. I'm going to use the app and just refresh comments. Because the app is easier. Okay. Jesse's haiku. The tree with red mittens. A gentle breeze sighs, while trees with red mittens dance with joy. I join them. Very good. And now we have, by Mike Katalinich, A Tree with Red Mittens, a sonnet. A tree with mittens red and leaves aloft, I long to spot, no, stare and fill mine eyes. As ever memory stirs in me so oft a glimpse of her with whom my heart allies. 'Neath willows, aspens, oaks she readily walked, and lilac's air perfumed her presence sweet. But winter come she never to me talked, lest red adorned her hands amidst snow's sheet. Now as I sit here pondering it all and asking lines to answer me a why, ain so I can't but wish the tree so tall have warmth enough to endure till I to die. Where'er you see them dancing in the wind, let leaves remind you of a life's thread thinned. Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. If there was a competition there, I know who would get the red rabbit.
There's a clear winner. We don't need a poll for that one. That was amazing.
Not only that, like he came up with that like a couple hours after our stream was done.
I feel like it was even less than that because I hadn't even finished writing my haiku yet. My little haiku.
Yeah.
The poem was already up.
Busted out with a full sonnet, even with the thematic couplet at the end. That's nuts.
It was amazing. Okay, yeah. So I do, by the way, have the document pulled up now with names. Is there anything wrong with just typing in the protoforms here so you can see the full list?
Yeah, but I will...
Instead of just having to read them?
I will tell you what, though. I need those sound changes because I forgot to paste them in. Okay, I know the fastest way to do this. Hold on.
Okay. Are you going to black out the screen?
Yes, I'm going to black out just... Oh, wait, not lock. There. Okay. So now we can't see Jesse.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and type some protoforms in from our name list, okay?
Okay.
And so everybody, I promise you I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still here. And typing.
Tippity type, tappity toot. Okay.
I feel like yeah, I tend to become a ghost a lot. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. It's kind of your brand. All right. Now let's see. New. Uno. Interesting. Okay.
Okay. So I took out, because some patrons have already said like rough meanings to associate with
so
them.
don't do those.
I have not listed them. So here, oh, thank you. People already missed me. So sweet.
Yeah, I gotta go back and load up the thing.
Oh, I think I'm back.
Well, I'm not.
Why aren't you back?
No, I'm back. I'm just okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. There we go.
I was like, I see you on the screen. Where'd you go?
Non-physical pronouns.
Oh, Nakai, amazing.
Oh,
on
nice.
page 205 of describing morphosyntax in the Kera language, womb is used for N. And that book is unfortunately in my school office, but thank goodness David has his copy with him.
Describing morphosyntax.
Oh, there are times I miss my campus office, and it's when I miss my linguistics books that are stored there.
Okay.
Okay. So, the list I have here, these are the name forms that are not yet associated with any sort of meaning, and as far as I know, there was no suggestion of meaning when they came.
Oh, okay. I'm leaning towards these two right here. These both seem like they could become very nice prepositions for us.
Mm-hmm.
So Amma is going to become Amma, and Zeus is just going to stay Zeus, yeah?
It should.
Yeah. Yep. We really mess with people that make zoo the toward preposition.
You really want to mess with them, you make it away from.
Oh, man. You know, I made an embarrassing number of errors in Game of Thrones translating to Valerian because the third person singular verb form ended in S. And, you know, in Spanish, the second person singular form ends in S. And so I would mix those two things up more times than I ought to have. Yeah, and
I totally understand.
there were fans of Valerian who would try to make excuses for it. It's like, well, maybe in this construction you just use the third person singular as a form of politeness, right? And I'm like, no, it's just an error.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right. But I love that people try to attribute all of that. So LA, yeah, please, if you're going to type a message, put it all in one message.
Okay. I don't know who that was, but...
okay, so... I saw a vote... I gotta scroll quite a bit. So Isaac had voted for Amma being related to at. And Sasha Cubes, I think when you had said Zeus, I think that was when we were talking about at as well. I'm not 100% sure. So in other words, we like both of those suggestions.
Okay.
Okay, so Dark Horse, Amma as at.
That's at?
At.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm seeing. Mike. Okay.
Alright.
So that could be... because I do like them both. They are both nice. You know I'm saving Lucy for something special.
Yeah.
I don't know what yet, but I'll know it. It may be sassafras.
Okay, so at what do you think? Face?
Oh, for the body part associated.
We already used nose.
Right. Although, here's a question. Because rabbit noses, right? There's the very clear nose versus the part of their face that would come down, right? Like if they were to do, like how cats, they give you the headbutt kind of with that part of their eye, nose, face area.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be good, right? Because you come toward, do rabbits do nose kind of head bump kisses like cats do? Does anyone know?
That's a good question. And also, I mean, it could be forehead then, if we want to distinguish that part of the rabbit head.
Right. Like I'm trying to, the way this sentence is going to come out, I'm trying to put myself into the mind of these rabbits to think, how would I describe my face? Would it be section? Because there's clearly a forward section and then the mouth kind of comes back down. And I wonder if I were a rabbit, how I'd feel about having one word for this whole head versus like a word for this part which deals with the world in one way and then a word for another part.
Yeah. So rabbits nose things affectionately, but
that doesn't help us then if that,
no,
because we already use nose, so we should probably. Oh, it would be so cute to have nose bumps as a greeting, as long as they are free from the COVID.
Yeah. So the of course, Alk brings up foot, and that's usually the first thing you think of. But I was concerned about having something for under be for foot, because of course, since the rabbits are upright, you're not going to use belly anymore for under.
Right.
Suppose you could use tail, huh?
If they're upright, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, well, that gives, if they're upright, that gives the whole front side. So whether we want to use a word meaning face or head or even belly, because that would be moving forward as well.
Yeah.
That.
By the way, have you seen Harvey?
The old movie, the black and white?
Yeah.
With James Stewart? Yeah.
With the 6-foot-tall rabbit?
With the invisible rabbit, yes.
There's a painting of him, though.
But only certain people can see him.
Well, sure, but whoever painted it did a pretty good job. At least so Uncle Elwood thought. Anyway, yeah. So.
Okay, so yeah, tail for under. Do we want to earmark that somewhere?
Yeah.
We don't have under
no,
yet, do we?
Just gotta...
Actually, you know what? Up here in this list, I'm gonna put tail.
Yeah, we also don't need this anymore. We know what we are. We don't need that anymore.
So.
Oh, you got me there. Harvey's a puka. He just appears to be a 6-foot-tall rabbit. Yeah, you got me there.
What's a puka?
That's what his aunt asks, or that's what his sister asks.
I haven't seen it in so long. I don't.
What's a puka? And then there's.
Oh, that's right, because he's very specific about the type.
Yeah,
okay.
And then there's the guy working at there, and and he opens the dictionary. Puka. A mischievous spirit who blah 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 blah, and how are you doing? And then it says his name, and he's like, huh?
It has been so long. I believe you that that's in there, but it has been a very long time. So, Mike, I think for behind, because they are upright, actually.
Yeah, back.
As a lot of languages, back would be an appropriate word for that. Oh, dividing things into 3, toward, away from, and at in each type of location.
It feels like what we're doing is going to be more ad hoc and less schematic. Because, like there's always parts of languages, all different types of languages, where some parts feel very schematic and other parts feel a little bit, loosey-goosey. This feels more loosey-goosey to me. The Easter Bunny was supposed to be a puka, but then he became a mailman.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So
I think face. Yes.
Okay. You wanna?
Let's do it.
By the way, you wanna show everybody what I had you doing before the stream started?
Well, first I had to put my hand up and then flip it and put it in front of my face, and then he just wanted me to wave to test sound. Apparently, the whole thing was he needed me to laugh, because if you haven't noticed, I have a loud laugh, and he had to make sure I wasn't going to blow the sound system if I laughed. And so far, nobody has said that they've gone deaf in one ear because of loud noise, so we're good. We're good.
Sorry, Applesauce Project. Hippity hoppity, bills are on their way.
It's the worst kind of happiness right there, is when you're happy to deliver those bills to people. Okay, we have face, we have womb.
Yeah, but hang on. So first of all, we have womb, but we don't have a form for it. And we have a form for face, but we don't necessarily have the pronominal form for it. So...
Right.
Sorry,
I was just so excited to talk about on top of.
I know.
Because shouldn't that be ear?
I mean...
You look so confused. The top.
I mean...
It's okay. It's okay.
Do you think of your own ears as being kind of stuck to you?
As being stuck to me?
Yeah, as like somebody just put them on there. Like, would rabbits think of their ears as something that were just kind of placed on them like daisies?
Boop, boop. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So okay. So here's the thing. All right. So we have proto ama becomes ama, right? And presumably it still means face unless we feel like it needs expanding.
Right.
But its its prepositional form might be a bit more phonologically reduced than that. And since the stress is on the first one, I think that, VC is probably the most likely, though it might just reduce to V.
I was actually just going to say wouldn't, because that stress and the M would technically be part of the second syllable. Because we don't want M as a coda, right?
Because if it were,
we'd have to do vowel reduplication, which would leave us with Emma again.
Oh my God. Well, no, actually, I was thinking it would the vowel would raise, but you're right. It would have to become N, which would make it identical.
And we can't do that as much as we love overlap. We just can't. Yeah. I would actually rather just have A.
Yeah. Okay. So Amma face and A is at. Once again, duplicating romance, since that's all what this language is supposed to do.
But we've done it so innocently.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we screwed it. Yep.
Yeah, another screw.
Yep. Wow. Okay. Let's just accept it and move on to inside, which is obviously going to have the same form as Georgian, I guess. Anyway. Okay, so we need a word for our womb that is not the word for whole. I remember somebody else had a different idea for Zeus, which is our only other one from the available set there.
Zach says Zeus for away from. Because you see something horrible and Zeus, you're gone. That is fantastic. Okay, so Ulus is suggested. Actually, do we still have our SCLU? Yes, it's on the next page. Serendipitous Convergent Linguistic Evolution.
And the W is just from we, because that was what we did.
Yes, because our word for we is we. And so that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just lovely commenters coming up with amazing things. Okay, so Hama, Ulus, Kalu, and Umbu are all suggestions.
Yeah.
Did you just dab while you sneezed?
Yes, because everybody got mad at me last time, so now that's what I'm doing. I'm dabbing. You have to deal with it now.
That was big.
Oh man. All right.
Okay.
So Ulus would just come out as Ulus, right? There would be no change.
Right.
And how did we have L doing stuff in this one? Was it tending towards W or was it tending towards Ya? Do you remember?
I feel like it was
bagels.
W, but then I feel like it was Ya.
I don't remember.
That's great.
Tab up with the copy bell.
That's actually kind of wonderful.
Okay. So
I'm trying to think of what words would have had. or what forms would have had a lot of L's. I don't know that we've used a lot so far for me to even have a sense of what we were doing with them.
I mean, it could just be oo, because especially if L is tending towards W, but they'll only do that in codeposition. Adam Guthrie asks, what pushes a language to prepositions or postpositions? Well, if you look at it's the history of the things, but sometimes you can borrow them. The language that we were working on from Sudan called Tetogabala or Moro, it had prepositions and postpositions. But if you look at the prepositions, they're all borrowed from Arabic. So, like, that's why they were prepositions. In things like this, the idea is that, let's say if you were saying something was at the hole, because we have wa for hole, the original thing is that it would be and there's, so face of hole, because that's how juxtaposition works in this language. So in other words, you might say something like, I stand face hole would mean I stand face of the hole, which is reinterpreted as I stand at the hole. Anyway, and so the reason that it's a preposition is because it came first in the possessive construction. That's it. And then this is when adpositions come from nouns. When they come from verbs, it's generally the relationship between the verb and its object. Anyway, so yeah, just the history of the thing. That's it.
Okay, so I don't see any sort of leanings that I can tell for the L. However, in this particular word, wouldn't we want to move away from the W? Because don't we have something about the U and the W don't play well together?
Do we?
I thought in this language we did. Cause
no,
like,
that was in Menishe.
Versus, what's that?
That was in Menishe, where the W becomes a V before the U.
Which is another great language. Everyone should check it out. But no, in the plural forms, words that begin with a U take a different prefix. Oh no, that was the TU. Okay, just a second. Sorry. There was something though, because like it was Kwalu versus Tuni. Those were two different plural forms from the same source. I'm not making it up.
Okay, so somebody had recommended loose. It seems less likely because the stress is on the first syllable. So ulus, so ulusa, ulusa, usa, ulusa, ulusa.
That's beautiful.
Ulusa.
Didn't you post something on Twitter about Grabbits doing something with a U and a W back to back in one of the charts?
Oh, the Grabbit Uwu.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Let's just. I mean, you can't get a W before a U in this language. It's not possible, right? Because it will. The W's come from U's.
Right.
Right. So like.
So anyway, all that is to say, if we were going to do something glidey, I didn't know how we would feel about, but it may not matter. It may not matter. I'm sorry. That was a big side note.
Oops. Oh. Super High Sun has an idea there that the L just kind of gets elided. Oos. Oos. Yeah. Yeah. That could happen. That could happen. That could happen. Okay. So in other words, we could have oos meaning inside. Oos. In other words, the L just kind of gets, it just kind of gets ooed away. Oos, 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 oos.
Yeah, it becomes ooed away.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Those are of course the two great enemies, the grab it uwu versus the grab it owo.
That is, yes. Two big camps right there.
Is it possible for languages to turn vowels into consonants? So if you believe this, there is I just saw this as a data set. I do not speak the language. I'm not claiming authority on this one, but the idea is that the E vowel in Mandarin became a Z after S, after sibilants. So protoform C, modern form S. Yeah. So there you have a vowel becoming a consonant. And then, wait, is it possible for sentences to turn vowels into consonants? Yeah. Yeah, and so then of course the obvious way is, vowels becoming glides, and then glides becoming consonants. You saw that happen with Greek and Slavic, and all those languages. Actually, modern Greek too. Anything where there was an U in a diphthong has turned into F or V, and so that's why you have, in Spanish autobus. But in any of the Slavic languages or Greek, it'll be, aftobus with an F, where the F came from a V. So yeah. Anyway, there's Sir Hagfish has it with.
Okay, so we have our first two prepositions then, right?
Yes. And we also have some nouns to add to the dictionary. But yeah. Okay, so let's pause at the essive column. I know how desperately you want to get on top of. We're just...
but I've already been shut down. It's okay.
I just want us to stop for a moment and consider toward, too.
Mm-hmm.
So we could conflate it. Because, of course, the distinction would be, right? So I stand at the face of the hole, I go to the face of the hole, and the distinction would simply be whether the verb was a motion verb or not. We could do that.
Right.
I'm not saying that we have to, but we could. Otherwise, did you have any lexical ideas for toward, too?
What is...
Shut up.
Just a second. I don't think it's... An idea is framing in my mind, but it's not based on any real... And by real, I mean natural data. It's just me having a feeling. If we did some sort of compoundy type thing where like the lative forms have like some form of I or something, because it's like I see it but I didn't make it there. So like I face to be like, I saw it, I'm going towards it, but I'm totally not there yet.
Oh, you have just entered or brought to us the idea of the aversive. So this is like you just went the same route that verb forms. There's one in there, not in Walls, in the World Lexicon of Grammaticalization, about using the word love as to mean almost.
Oh, wow.
So it's grammaticalized, so like where love became some sort of something or other, and you use it to mean I almost went to the store. It's almost like kind of came from I loved to go to the store, but I didn't. Right?
Right?
And so it's
nice.
Like I went within sight of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Because who's doing the seeing? And of course the one that does the seeing. In other words, for the verb see, our sole argument is the seer. It's not the see. Right?
But we would have to mark the argument doing the seeing, because the thing that is seen comes immediately after the verb.
No. You know what I'm saying? Because the experiencer of sight is the one that does the seeing.
Right.
So they should be the sole argument. They should be the normal argument. And then you have to render with a preposition that which is seen.
Isn't that backwards from what we do?
Yes, if you look at it from an English perspective.
Oh no, I mean backwards from what we actually wrote in the grammar here.
No, I know, but like if you think of the event of seeing as something that has an agent and a patient,
right,
then yes, what I just described would be backwards from what we had done in the language. But
right, okay.
If instead you reframe that as not as agent and patient, but experiencer and source.
Because like I'm actually
right?
undergoing some sort of perceptual experience, therefore
Yeah.
I'm kind of almost a patient-y agent.
Yeah, but outside laser vision, right, the thing that's seen is not affected.
Right.
And of course, outside, I'll bring up the book Lila by Robert M. Pirsig. Okay, there's that too. If you want to get philosophically deep like that, the idea.
I've never heard of it.
He had this strange idea that that eyes actually project light, even just a little bit, and he tried to say that science backs this up, and that it also goes back to time immemorial and blah 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 blah, and so that actually, if you're looking at something, you're projecting light onto it. But
Okay.
that aside,
Mm-hmm.
the most affected person is the one that's doing the seeing.
Right.
Which means that we could not get away with I go see whole. And the word see would be the preposition.
Right.
Because the argument there, the whole argument, should be the one that's doing the seeing, not the thing that is being seen. But that was almost perfect, right?
I felt it, yeah.
I'm not
What
over.
about I as a noun?
I know. But like, I jumped ahead a couple of steps. I wasn't overthinking this, am I? I wasn't.
You went ahead
Okay.
like 8 steps. Oh man. Okay, so Nikai asked about appear then. I guess that, I mean, like, if we want the lative forms to be, I guess they could be almost verby in some senses.
Well, let's do this. If you did that, you went. It suggests something like to go to the eye of the whole. You know.
Well, that was totally, I was immediately, I thought
Right.
Anglocentric, because I was thinking, oh, that's like the middle of it, but that doesn't have to mean that.
It doesn't, but I don't think it necessarily suggests what you were suggesting, which
Right.
I love. I love the idea of like going so far that you can see something with the implication being that you didn't actually get there, or maybe not
Right.
necessarily. I love that. How do we get that?
So, okay, Alk asks about using the same root for the demonstrative with the seen versus unseen distinction. And then Lagging Games says that rabbits can't see directly 10 degrees in front of them, so it's hard for them to focus on something right in front of them.
Oh, same with cats.
Or apparently just under the chin, which that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, okay. Interesting. I'm trying to think of a creative way to make the lative forms different.
Okay.
without.
I have another question that's a little bit beyond where we are, but it might help if the answer is one that we like. So, Chima, let's work with that. Chima is a great parallel because it has the same type of thing. Okay. Chima means to wait, all right? How would we turn this into a noun that means waiting? Could we just use the basic form?
Is this a real? Are we thinking through this right now? This is our grammar point.
Well, the reason why I asked is this: what
See how
if?
excited I am.
What if it wasn't I go see verb whole, it was I go sight whole. In other words, I go to the site of the whole, to the seeing of it, to the point where I am seeing it. In other words,
Interesting.
could you just, are we zero deriving our verbs into nouns? And if so, how does the noun work?
Okay, so
I
I'm
feel
okay
like-
with some zero deriving verb noun forms. One point to remember is that if there's nothing marked on the verb, then that takes a third person singular subject, and so like that's our verb agreement. And so
Yeah.
that is something to remember in terms of just overlap, which is totally fine. But like I also like having different, as many natural languages do, different forms of the noun, the nouny forms based on the verb.
Sure. Basically what I'm wondering is, can we do this without it being contradicted later? That's what my hope is. Because I feel like if you have the verb see, and its basic inherent argument is the seer, the one experiencing sight, then the basic nominal form of that verb is going to be seeing, the ability to see, or the action of seeing.
Yes.
Which means that if it were to be zero derived, it would have the exact meaning that we want.
Is there a downside to this? I'm waiting for...
The downside is this. If by the time we actually get to derivation later, we do something that contradicts this, we're going to have to rip out this preposition by the roots with malice and great anger.
And intention. Yes. But this is only one nouny form. We can, of course, derive other nouny forms.
Yes, absolutely. We're not precluding that. However, we are essentially at least inventing at one stage the possibility of zero derivation from our verb stems into nouns, which I think should be possible without too much confusion.
Interesting. In terms of confusion, do you mean like in terms of they would be confused because it would be a separate verb form? Essentially, like it could be interpreted as another verb form?
Okay, I just...
Like in this sentence.
Yeah. Okay, wait, well, what? Oh, wait. Say it again, one more time, sorry.
This is the problem with trying to read comments while still having a conversation.
I
do it all the time to you.
I am 100% Jesse now.
Oh, hi, Jesse. Anyway.
I solemnly tip my hat the way you do.
When you say confusion, do you mean confusion on the part of like us as conlangers trying to keep things straight, or confusion on the part of the rabbit speakers where it's like that would create too many potentially ambiguous forms that would just be like horribly inefficient, and we don't want an inefficient language?
Right, or just not too inefficient, naturally inefficient. But yes, you right. It is the second one that I am concerned about because already we have the bare form of the verb being used as the third person singular
Right.
perfective, right? And then, in addition, nouns don't have any special marking when they are singular.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we're going to have relative clauses when we get there. They're just going to appear right after the nouns that they modify. And so the question was, is it going to be too confusing if you just have the word dropped in to mean seen? And I think that the answer has to be no. I think it will be fine because we have the possibility for further derivational processes. So it's not necessarily going to be the case that every single one of these verbs is going to have a zero derived form. And furthermore, I mean, Tibetan exists. So I think we're fine.
So one last question, though, because
Yes.
this is kind of at the site of the whole, like that's kind of how we're interpreting it. Would we want to use instead of, would we want to have some sort of, we were talking about sort of, anti-passive kind of things. Would we want some sort of passive-y like thing to turn see into sight to mean like thing that is seen?
That can happen later.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So like not, like we wouldn't need it for this form.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because the possession that's happening, it's not identifying, it's not saying the seen thing, the whole, like Oedipus the king.
I get it. Yes.
All right.
I remember.
It
I
is,
remember the whole thing.
It is an... Yes.
I was told that's totally the normal example to go with.
It is the inalienable metaphorical possession between the act of seeing and then the noun, the whole. So it's the sight of the whole.
Okay. The seeing of the whole. And not the whole that's seeing.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Well, you're doing some oh no's. Applesauce project, zero derivation. Another way to refer to that is conversion in some terms. And it literally just means to use the same form for multiple grammatical things without changing it, adding any sort of affixes or anything like that.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited to see what you are writing. I have a feeling it's going to flip everything on its head. But
well, I actually wrote it on the back of a page with a lot of dark marker, so you can't even see it with a pink, thing.
Oh yeah, no, sure can't.
But I guess the side of the whole is ambiguous in English too, isn't it?
Yeah. Because it does this, like it would be different, like the sight of David. Like, am I looking at David, or am I referring to your ability to see?
Yeah. I mean, we can get away with it because it's old, but...
Wait, I'm sorry. While you're thinking through that, Mateus, people say, I'll inbox you? I'll inbox you. What does that even mean?
It means I'm going to put you in my inbox.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm trying to figure out if that just means email, or if that means, like, I'll put that thing on my to-do list, like my metaphorical inbox. I don't... Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. That was besides the point, but... Okay, so yes. Oh, and Isaac, we have not forgotten Zeus as an idea, so we will not forget that.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's going to work. I think it'll be all right.
I think it will too, but I also know that in like 4 weeks it could be like, who made this stupid decision? And we'll have to go back in the video, see that both of us were like, this will be fine. It'll be good.
Oh boy. All right. So now this thing is going to be a whole verb. I don't have a problem with using something like Kali for that.
Oh, yeah, because we don't have to see, right?
Yeah. And so if we're not deriving it from a word for I, which we don't have to, it can be a whole thing. It could be Lucy because you watch her.
And that is an important word, Lucy. Yes. Okay. Oh, but wait. Wait. Sorry. Oh, shoot. I just made my FaceTime cover up my whole screen, and I lost my document for a second. Are we going to screw ourselves? No, because it would be Lou, right? Would be the short form.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, we can't screw ourselves, right? Not too many times in one day.
Okay. So.
I support this. Oh, although I do save this idea at some point, because Mike had said Kali could eventually just become Kai. Like Kai.
We'll hang on to that one. We'll hang on to that.
Because I do like the sound of that, so.
Yeah, we'll hang on to that.
I'm putting it in my notes.
So toward. All right, there we go. That's fine. Okay. Let's put these in something. Put them in purple. You've been listening to a lot of ABBA, Jesse?
Everything's ABBA. That purple does not stand out as much as I would want it to on first glance.
But it rhymes with your shirt right now.
It is my shirt. It is ABBA.
I need a little something. I need a little something to get me going right now.
I still have my empty wrapper over here.
You hear Aaron? You hear Aaron scoff at that. Yes.
Okay, notes taken.
Kopiko, the flavor of 1,000 destinies.
While you're thinking that,
Oh, good.
Mike just pointed out that our current productivity is 2 prepositions per hour. And I think that this really matches well the part of the language that is always the hardest, where you come to a standstill if you're trying to do it as a historical sort of natural evolution. Because you do have to think, what do I want to be for it to be related to? And then you have to come up with that word. Then you have to figure out how it's going to work grammatically and make sure it all makes sense. This is, I think, one of the hardest parts of the language to deal with.
There are many. It's because of the second guessing. We're second guessing ourselves a lot. And that happens, but it's like you work through it, you think about it once so you don't have to think about it again. Also, I'm just going to point out that there's 6 different drop cap styles. So, just. I didn't know that.
What?
Just pointing that out. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. This will never be the same.
Oh my goodness gracious Gumbly. Wow. Whoa!
Oh my. This one is insane.
Look at that kerning.
Oh, I kind of like that one.
Basic.
Oh, wow. We could go into the margins. Okay. So, yeah, there are options. Wowza.
Whoa.
Wow. You can also specify how many lines it goes.
Oh, gosh. Nakai, you think about it once, so you don't have to think about it again, unless you don't take notes.
Wow. Okay, sorry. What did I miss? I was having fun with the drop caps.
Sorry, that was just good. No, I can't repeat it. It's too much.
I should take notes. That's nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the green square too.
We're doing good.
Okay, so I'm happy with what we have here.
I am too.
So that's good. Now the question is, how much other stuff are we doing? So, yeah, because on the top of, I usually use words like sit, but that's when the inherent object is the thing that's getting sat on, not the person that's doing the sitting.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, this is some good thinking right there.
No. Never mind. No, it's nonsense. I'm just thinking the wrong thing. Okay, so that's the only thing that's giving me pause here. And there's not necessarily anything that's necessarily on top of something else. I appreciated but rejected the suggestion of the thumb. I don't think that makes sense enough.
The thumb.
Yeah.
Oh, the thumb. Okay. Okay, so to rephrase what I think I just heard you say before this was trying to think through the point of view, whether it's the thing being on top of, so as if I'm a rabbit, would I think on top of is something on top of me, or that I'm on top of something else? Is that?
Yeah, and so the problem with using any of those verbs is that it's the actor that's the inherent object of the verb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Flee. F-L-E-A.
Oh my God. That would be so wildly divergent. I kind of want to do it.
But I mean, they would have to deal with them, right?
Okay, let's think about how that works. Okay, so the box. I'm sorry, the cat on top of the box. So the cat, right, at the flea of the box. The cat stands flea the box. Yeah, the way a flea would.
Right.
Oh my God. Okay. Now I just... I have to see what people think about this. I'm so nervous.
Already a suggestion for a fleeling.
Yeah, or a louse. Which one do you think are more of a bother to a rabbit, a louse or a flea?
Okay, so in my immediate thought is that the flea is always going to be on top of something and it's easily visible.
Yeah.
Louse, sometimes you have to dig a little to see. And they burrow kind of into your hair and skin follicles in a way that's different than fleas, which are always on top of something.
Fleas do like to hop. They are like tiny, horrible nightmare rabbits. This is correct, Lacking Games. Is there some sort of an evil diminutive that we could just add to rabbit?
Right? Yeah, this is the true rabbit nemesis. Cats.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I mean, this has definitely sparked conversation.
I mean, I feel like we got to do it.
I like it.
Got to do it at least once.
There we go. Look, right there. See how nice that looks?
Yeah. Now, how are we going to come up with a word for this guy?
we need to take Lucy off this list. Thank goodness. That can't be flea. Oh.
Flea. So it's like, it would be a lot of fun to do something, derived, right? And there were a lot of wonderful suggestions. But that would make it less likely that this thing would be used as a preposition. It would need to be basic. It would need to be very old to be used as a preposition for something as basic as on top of.
Right.
So it's that's a lousy idea. So
sorry, Mike suggested Hapa because it's the sound it makes when you slap it. There we go. That was that suggestion. Kawi. Prenasal. So let's see. There's Kawi.
See how some of these things would come out.
Z.
Kawi, Haba. Z is, that would be pretty good too, actually. Oh wait, we gotta do the thing for that one. Where's the... Eadzy. Oh wow, that's a really good word for flea. Holy
I
criminy.
like that.
Yeah. I am 100% with this backstory here. The spirits of evil dead rabbits haunting living rabbits. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Whoops. I didn't mean to delete that many. Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so then now Z, so that's idzi. So the word for let's be clear. The word for flea is idzi.
Yes. Thank you.
And so it depends how derived we want to make this, but this preposition is either going to be Z with a D or Z with just without the D. And the idea here is not that it never had it, but rather that it just got further eroded as a preposition.
I feel like Z would be more natural with what we've done so far.
Yeah. Okay. It is the law. Wow.
Look how fast that happened. I think our pace has picked up to 2.2 prepositions per hour.
That's really good.
With that.
I am so excited about this word for flea and the future of fleas in this world. Man. And it's true they don't have lungs? Really?
That, I guess. I think I saw that somewhere in there. But that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
Well, lots of types of insects don't have lungs. They breathe through their skin.
Really?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, that there are many lungless insects.
Wow.
Maybe all of them are lungless. W. Watson says bugs don't have lungs.
They're so superior to us. Why?
They have figured out, but they still haven't figured out how to not eat and live.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big one. It would be so great if we didn't have to eat. Mm.
Oh, they have spiracles. Oh, that sounds so much fun. Spiracles.
Ooh, you want to hear about what insects have instead of lungs?
Oh, there are insects that do have lungs?
No, they don't.
No, wait.
Insects don't breathe through their mouths. They don't have... their blood doesn't carry oxygen around their bodies. Instead, they have a system of tubes that go through their entire body, and the air moves through them, and that's how they oxygenate their body.
And when they send emails, those tubes can get clogged up, right?
Absolutely.
When they inbox each other, that happens.
Oh my god, like the book lungs of arachnids. Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, Chris says it's actually less efficient than powered breathing.
It's because they're living a life of luxury. They don't need efficiency. Oh, they really are superior to us.
Did you want to tackle another one on this list? You have.
So, here is my thought at this point. At this point, I want to think about into and onto. And if we want these to be separate from our essive forms, and if we do, ought we consider a compound form?
We ought consider.
Because I'm going to tell you, I believe what we're looking at over here is either something like this or this.
Mm-hmm.
This might be too simple. This might be too complex. I don't know.
Wonder if that final S would eventually drop. Maybe just be Wushu.
Oh.
And then onto could potentially be just, well, I guess Luzi.
Hold on a minute. I just want to see a couple of things. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that crazy Z? Wait, I still have it. Oh my God, no, I don't. Wow.
And yes, Biblaridion, there was a conversation about respiration. You never know what's going to happen.
That's what you missed. Very important conlink stuff. Okay, hold on. I just want to see. Lucid Z, Lucy. Lucy. No.
I'm home. Oh, this makes me want to get an episode of I Love Lucy going.
Like, yeah, I think, yeah, that's the type of thing that will happen. Lucy. So, okay. But over here, so I think that we're actually going to end up replicating English a bit if we go with this, even if we get rid of the S, because it's going to be so big that I think people are just going to use, the rabbits are just going to use this unless they need this for clarity.
But, I mean, is it really that big? Like, we have without, and it's got just as many sounds. That's got a diphthong, which makes it feel bigger.
Those birds? Is that on your end?
Oh, did you hear like a squeaky sound?
Yeah.
It's not my squirrel. No, that was our dishwasher opening. I think it needs oil.
Oh, you have that?
Yeah, I think Chris in the background, I think, just said something about it needing WD-40.
You have that construction needs participle?
Yes.
Past participle, rather. I mean,
yes.
I could say it needs washing, but I couldn't say it needs washed.
Oh, I can do however I'm feeling in the moment, but past participle would be more natural in most cases.
Wow. Could you also say it needs washed?
No.
Sorry. Okay.
I do not have that dialect.
Lucius. Lucius.
Like, I know it feels like it's rather large and clunky.
And you think, so I know we elided the L here, and I like that. I'm happy with us keeping the S. But do you think that perhaps the reason that we want to get rid of the S here is because of the shut?
I honestly think it was just because Lushu reminds me of Mushu, which is a fun word to say.
I live!
Exactly.
Yeah.
I knew the Mulan reference would not be lost.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. Amazing.
See, other people I see Alk likes Lushu. And Mike's right, it's certainly no more cumbersome than saying on top of, and we sure do that anyway.
It's more slangy, of course, because, of course, what I always say is onto the top of.
Right. So Dark Horse asked about sh versus ch, but this would definitely be the S because it would be coming from the combination of the us and the Lucius.
Yeah. Onto the uppermost surface thereof. I mean, I would say thereat, but yeah, not all of us are.
Thereat. No, does anyone use thereat?
Man, you know what a wild thing it was learning Egyptian, because they have all those forms and they use them a whole lot. They have for every preposition, like thereat, thereupon, therewith, and so on.
That's kind of amazing. Cool. So that means we now have 6 prepositions in the span of one episode.
Yeah.
And we're not even done yet. We have 17 minutes to decide. We also need to start thinking, final 17 minutes here, start thinking poll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are less important.
Yeah.
Maybe not this one, but this one.
Wait, maybe not this one, but this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so out of would be potentially more important. Is that what I'm correctly seeing a cursor?
I mean, that's what you saw, but that's not what I meant.
Okay. You got to see, I see my version of the document.
Yeah. It's perhaps out of is less important than away from. Goodness gracious. How do you even do one of these if you're not going to use a word from like leave or something like that?
For out of and away from.
Yeah, hold on.
Where did
get a little inspiration?
Because Greek has that great preposition meaning out from under. Where did that come from?
Which one is that?
Now I have to remember which one it is. I just remember learning it and thinking, that's cool. Just a second, I bet Chris would know what I'm talking about, and I think I hear him.
Exceed.
Do you remember what it is he's talking about? He verified that they do have the preposition, but he can't remember what it is either.
Hold on, I'm looking up something cool. I think. It might be disappointing. Oh. Yeah, it was disappointing. It was them using the word elative in a strange way.
Oh.
Aaron points out that if being inside is the womb of it, then isn't coming out of it being born.
Or to vomit or to poop.
Well, that would make it a compound preposition.
Mm-hmm.
So we still need the off of, or the of, or the away from. We need something like that.
I'm still looking up the Greek.
Oh my god.
Upo, maybe that's it.
Yeah, and we still need
Would
something.
that just be under? Sorry.
We still need something for that genitive construction as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to find out what that was for.
Hold. Right?
Wait, you mean like that's the suggestion, or were you putting me on hold?
No. No. You could use hold like that, right? But we still need something away from.
Okay.
It's like leaving, but you're leaving the thing.
Okay.
Okay. I got
Okay.
it.
Okay, Chris just verified that I was wrong, because they do have some quirky cases with prepositions to kind of derive that meaning, but yeah.
The point of departure. That's what we need. We need the point of departure. So, it could be leaving, because that's the person doing the thing. They're doing the leaving, and you leave at something. And the impression, or the implication is that this is the point at which the person begins the act of leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the interpretation is that that is the thing that is being left. So, that's what we need to do for the oblative. And then we can do other things with that.
Okay.
So we need something like leave, or to exit, or to, boo, out of the hole. In this case, the rabbit hole, not the birthing canal. Sorry about that. Okay. Leaving. I want to see the N word, something that ends with N.
Interesting. Seeing if anything. Lan. Ban. Tapun.
Let's take a look at some of these. Lon, of course, isn't going to change.
Do you want me to... Oh, wait.
Tapun.
If I type them in the document, would you be able to see them right now?
Len, MN, Tabun.
There's K-A-N.
Can.
I-A-N.
What would happen to that one?
But wouldn't that just be yen?
Yes, it would be yen.
And that's our word for one.
9.
What would P-A-I-N turn into?
P-A-I-N. Pine? Yeah, it'd just be pine.
Okay.
10.
Lisun, Tain, Lunfa.
Oh, applesauce project just meant... No, you can't actually get that applesauce project. Nothing you do would show up with an A before an N. Oh, Lunfa comes out as Limhe. Limhe.
Do you want to add an N to the end of that to make it...
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Well, let's take a look at that for right now, because what we're going to do is we're going to add this to it. So lim he would be leave or exit, and then we would leave lim ha. Lim ha. Ha. What is become? Okay. It would just be the same. Lim ha. Okay, wait, hold on. Stick with me.
Not going anywhere.
If we have lim ha and lim ha, and then you just keep saying it, lim ha, it could become lim ya, which could become lim ya. Lim ya?
Uh-huh. Where is the "a" coming from?
At.
Oh! Yeah, right there. Gotcha. Because you leave
Yep.
at.
Yeah. I kind of like this. Yeah.
Did you like it enough to put it up in the fancy little non-table table?
Kind of. Now I'm wondering about if we actually could get an out from, if we combine it with ulus. Linius. So it would be something like linius.
Oh, that's nice.
All of these have L in it, and it's an accident. That is weird. Because, you know what I'm saying?
They do.
I'm tempted to just change the first consonant of this, even though I do like the sound of it, to something else.
I mean, we could just drop it.
Inus.
And Inya. Inya.
Okay. It'll be puzzling.
Wondering why in the world, what does the L mean in all of these forms? It must mean something.
I mean,
You get it to an N.
Yeah. All right, fine.
Are we leaving it?
It stays.
For the future potential locative meaning.
And then let's be sure we know what that protoform is.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you like how I remembered to type it up here for flee too? Because I was thinking we've done that before.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. All right, so then let's leave these for later.
Okay.
Because I want to give that some thought. And instead, for our poll, we're going to talk about alienable possession, because I think that's what makes sense. So we've already determined that we're going to have alienable possession, and that is going to be done with some sort of a prepositional phrase. The question is what? And there are a number of ways to do this. So bear in mind that something like the paw of the rabbit will be paw rabbit, and also metaphorically something like the color of the shed will be color shed. Yeah. Right. So the question is, what do we say for the... Well, I guess we have a word for it, don't we? The hoe of the rabbit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a word for it because it's like a stick paw is a compound.
Yeah, paw pole. A paw pole.
Paw pole. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So there are a number of possibilities here. So it could be. Do we actually have these words? What is the word for hoe?
I will pull it up, but yeah, we definitely have it.
Nojepada. Nojepada. Okay.
Oh my God, how do you remember that?
I just...
You're exactly right, Nojepada.
Yeah.
Or did you pull it up?
Yeah, of course I did.
I thought you just remembered it. I was like, holy cow.
Oh. I just used
I was giving you way more credit.
I just used the find function in my brain, you know.
Mine's broken.
Yeah, just, Command F and the F is right here, you know. Doop.
Boop.
At least on my body. I don't know where your Command F is. Anyway, so, nojepada, and then ime is one option. So in other words, this is at nojepada lu ime. 2. I think that's also likely. Now, nojepada lin ya ime. That's away from, or so not out of, but like, you know. This one's a maybe. Sorry, nojepada z ime. And the reason why I use this one is I'm thinking of clothing. So it's like if that's where it started, like the hat on the rabbit.
Right.
I don't think inside is likely at all. I don't think into is likely. And I find onto less likely. I was thinking about putting it, but every time I'm thinking about that and then do it, I regret it. So this is probably good.
I like the 4 options we have.
Yeah. Now, something to keep in mind is all 4 of these options end with a vowel. And so we, at some point in time, will probably need to discuss hiatus for these if we want them to criticize. We don't have to. But it's something that we could think about. And do rabbits care a lot about clothes? Like, they don't wear a ton of them, but like, you know, it's important in a sense. Like, it's like their armor. Even when they're not going into battle, they can be happy and furry and naked when it's just them and the world is at peace. Otherwise, you must go forth garmented as a way to show the world that you're prepared. You know? That's my sense.
And also, like, a lot of their tools they may carry on their shoulder, you know, on top of. And so, you know, like the little wacky stick. Got it.
They're grabbit gouger.
Oh, the grabbit gouger.
Alright, so this is alienable possession. Yeah, and we will just throw that up and see what people like.
I like that. Oh my gosh, and this is kind of perfect timing. We have 1 minute left. We have wrapped up what we were working on. We've clearly said where we're going. And we have a poll.
Yeah, so you can use this minute now to, you know.
Oh, minute's over.
Oh. By the way, I just want to make sure I've got something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just. Okay, we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, testing some sound changes.
Yeah, and I just wanted to take a look to make sure that I wasn't totally misremembering, but we're good. Okay, this is a good set. This is a good start. We can.
I like it.
Yeah, we can move on and start tackling clauses, I think, now. So we can start getting into that next time, I think.
Oh my gosh. And that's going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we get longer sentences, and when you see all the words coming together in meaningful ways, I think that's quite exciting.
That is exciting. I look forward to that too.
Yay!
All right, cool. So, yeah, all right. Then, anyway, oh, yeah. Don't worry. We have not forgotten about Zeus. Don't you worry.
No.
Zeus is going to factor in somehow.
It's going to come back.
Yeah, it's coming. I want to be sure it's still on the screen, right? Yeah, there it is. Here. Even better, we're going to make sure we don't forget it.
Oh, I can't wait to see which drop cap you have selected. The asterisk.
I didn't expect that. I thought I could just select what I wanted to be the drop cap, but no, it decides the line.
That looks wonderful.
Yeah, we'll remember now.
Except maybe we need like one more space to get our S from Supercoda away.
There we go.
That's wonderful.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
cool. All right. So,
well, then.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And then, I don't know. I guess that's it.
Well, my last thing here, if you're a patron, Monday is June 1st, so get ready for a new podcast episode to drop. It's a good one. So that will be June 1st. That's Monday. And I think that was our only announcement that I needed to make.
Well, that's true, but also like all the stuff for us happens on June 1st. So that's
PDFs.
Yeah.
And I'm just in the middle of creating the transcript, so my mind is only on the podcast. Nothing else exists right now.
Yeah, qualifying for names and everything, that all stuff happens then, so.
Yes.
Anyway.
So,
yeah.
Yay!
All right. So yeah, I guess go ahead. Take us out.
Stay grammar.